consequences in the real world. Now, that didn't mean that every sin would be punished with prompt and proportional consequence, because God doesn't play whack-a-mole with human sin. But it does mean that following God's commandments would usually lead to better life results than doing the opposite. Polytheism argued that the gods were holy and thus human beings ought to serve them. Judaism argued that we ought to be holy in imitation of God. And Judaism argued that we had the ability to choose to be holy. Polytheism had little notion of the value of individual human beings. This wasn't true for the rulers in polytheistic cultures who were ranked among the gods themselves. You look back to basically any ancient country, from Egypt to Mesopotamia to Rome. If you look at any of them, the leaders were the people who mattered. They were made in the image of God. Literally, they would say this in all of their writings. Epic heroes of the ancient myths are identified with the gods. Commoners never even appear in the narratives. The Torah fought the notion of human inequality before God tooth and nail. We are all created equal before God in our endowment with a certain level of free will. Perhaps most importantly, the most important sentence in human history was this from Bereshit Aleph Kaf Zayin, right? Genesis 1:20, and we are all Adam's descendants. One of the most moving segments of the Bible takes place just before Cain slays his brother Abel. God sees that Cain is jealous that Abel's offering has already been. If you do not improve, however, sin lies at the entrance and it longs for you, but you can rule over it. There's a constant recurring theme in the Chumash. God lays out the importance of choice, of proper exercise of free will. He says in Dvarim, see, I set before you today life and prosperity, death and destruction. I command you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in obedience to him, to keep his commands, decrees, and laws. And now choose life so that you and your children may live. And in understanding society are better off now that we've abandoned Jerusalem. Is our society a society that currently argues in the West
that I'm standing on, inhabited by this very people that are currently inhabiting it. And to be honest, a lot of us have done it light to the world. And I think we all need to hold
$10 million in e-commerce revenue. This video, which kind of triggers the algorithm. You're like, yo, a bunch of people come in, and it'll show it to more people. I'm
Instagram.
What's going on?
The video that we just posted literally like 10 minutes ago was going like viral.
Writing down what you're gonna do the night before. There are so many people that live out there with no direction. Do things that fulfill your heart, not just but write that down somewhere in a 5-year goal notebook, a 10-year goal, piecing things down. Yeah, not decent. So I have another recording I'm doing today. It's getting late, so I gotta just grind another one out. We told him what to do, and I just go boom, 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 and do little interviews, watch each game, boom. Being an editor, it takes so much time. But I'm glad I did it myself, because when I'm hiring editors and they're like, hey, so much, I appreciate it.
Okay,
bye-bye. Down. But that can all be avoided in one simple step. You are the awareness of your emotions. The way I like to visualize it is like, I'm in my human vessel.
The original co-founders of Neuralink. But today, he's the founder of a new company called Science.
But a little bit easier. And to be fair, I generally say, hey, you got the freedom to do it, do it. I don't really care, right? At the end of it, AI loaded handgun is mostly a tool, okay? Family members of mine use the ChatGPT app to research things on the internet. It's a video I enjoyed making. And the reality of it is YouTube has allowed this video to not just be, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of an era where I go over like angry reviewers, I go over like, that whole era of Krabby Patty, and I unlock, and you miss the nuances of language, it just makes a shitty product. Now, being an English user, I haven't noticed this with other content creations. It's like plugin. Because they're like, we just don't want to see this. So apparently the before version is like this PewDiePie video, technological news, and they kind of talked about true crime content where almost every single facet of it was effectively AI generated. And there was one video that was uploaded, husband, corporate lawyer. So of course, ladies and gentlemen, these are all AI generated images. Obviously,